Blessed are the eyes that see what you see. For I tell you, many kings and prophets have desired to see what you see, and have not seen it. To hear what you hear, and have not heard it. I thank you, Father, for hiding these things from the learned and the wise, and revealing them to the innocent and the simple.
Proceeds now to the growing crisis in Bangladesh after weeks of deadly and violent protests. New video coming in tonight as authorities deploy the army and impose a strict new curfew with a shoot-on-sight order. Let's bring in ABC's Inez de la Catera. And Inez, more than 100 people have already died in these clashes.
That's right, Whit, and those protests turning deadly, with government buildings set on fire, a mob storming the state broadcaster, and police firing back with tear gas and live rounds. At least 110 people have been killed, though it's hard to know just how many casualties there have been, with the government imposing a nationwide internet blackout. The U.S. Embassy in a statement saying reports indicate hundreds to possibly thousands have been injured, adding the situation is extremely volatile. Now, these protests first broke out weeks ago over a new quota system that allocates up to 30% of government jobs to the families of veterans who fought for independence against Pakistan in 1971. The army has now been deployed in the country's capital to enforce a strict curfew with a shoot-on-sight order. That curfew expected to end at 10 a.m. on Sunday.
At least 55 people have been killed after two landslides hit parts of southern Ethiopia. While the rescue operations are expected to continue throughout the day, the first responders expect the death toll to in fact rise further. The landslides occurred at 10 a.m. local time after heavy rains lashed the mountainous Gofa district. The local authorities have said that women, children and police personnel were amongst those killed by the landslides. In fact, people who came to the rescue of those trapped initially were also buried in the debris. Footage from the scene shows the rescuers digging with tools and even with their bare hands while grieving relatives gathered around the area. The authorities are expected to bring in earth-moving machines to continue with their search operations.
West Asia, an Israeli operation in Khan Yunis, it's killed 70 people. It's wounded more than 200. This as per the health ministry in Hamas.
Right, in a statement, the IDF has said that its fighter jets and tanks struck and eliminated terrorists in the area.
It further added that the forces targeted over 30 terror infrastructure sites in Khan Yunis, hitting a weapons storage facility, observational posts, tunnel shafts and structures used by Hamas militants.
This after the Israeli military warned it would forcefully operate in the area. The warning has affected the Al-Mawasi humanitarian zone in southern Gaza and also forced thousands of Palestinians to flee. Israel has also issued new orders to evacuate some neighborhoods in Khan Yunis after what it said were renewed militant attacks in the region.
And in Kenya, anti- and pro-government demonstrators clashed with the police in the capital Nairobi, leading to fresh bouts of violence during the protest that entered the fifth week. Local reports say that the police fired live bullets on demonstrators. The pro-government demonstrators took to the streets to thwart the anti-government protests. The protesters blocked the highway leading to the country's main airport. The anti-government group lit bonfires in the suburb, prompting the police to use brutal force and hurl tear gas canisters to disperse them. The nationwide deadly riots within the Pipeline State over the proposed tax hikes have killed as many as 50 people since June and injured more than 400 people. According to the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, the Kenyan government says that the demonstrations have been infiltrated by the criminal gangs and the hired goons.
Over 700 rescuers and 1,500 locals have been deployed to search for the 31 people who went missing after a bridge collapsed in China's Shanxi region due to incessant rainfall. According to a report, 12 people have been found dead, while one has been rescued. The bridge spans 366 meters across the Xinjiang River and is part of an expressway. Later on Friday, the bridge collapsed due to the excessive downpour that triggered flash floods.
Wildfires across the west, more than 60 are burning right now, scorching more than 700,000 acres. Our Matt Gutman on the scene in Riverside, California. Good morning to you, Matt.
Hey, good morning, Robin. This fire took off in the canyon just behind this house, and then yesterday afternoon just engulfed so many homes in this neighborhood. This is a luxury neighborhood, and you can see this tangle of fire hoses right behind me. They're actually firefighters still working to douse the flames of this house. 3 luxury homes destroyed in this neighborhood, according to officials. 4 additional homes significantly damaged, and 1,500 other homes damaged. Now, this area is under an evacuation order, and an additional fire south of here burned another 1,600 acres. And in California right now, there are over 20 wildfires that are active. As you just mentioned, in the west right now, there are over 60 wildfires that are active, having torched about 700,000 acres. Part of this is a combination of this very wet, rainy season we had, which produced all of this brush, followed by a series of pounding heat waves that have dried up all of that brush, essentially turning it into rocket fuel for these wildfires. Robin.
All right, Matt.